whether the team is performing clean or unsightly. We'll cover it all here on Washington Football Nightly. I, of course, am your host, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Let's get to tonight's lead story. I can't remember being this excited, anxious, nervous, but mostly excited for a football game with this team in a long time. Now, obviously, there are so many different things that exist with this game, the meaning of it. Obviously, it's Dallas. That's number one, right? That's the thing that supersedes everything else. It's Dallas. But let's peel back the layers of what that actually means. One, yeah, it's Dallas. Duh. That means something. Two, this game is not just for playoff positioning. It's also for a chance to get back into the divisional race. You really want to have a chance at winning this division, you need to win this game. You don't win this game, more likely than not, you're not going to win this division. It's really simple. I'm not saying we have to sweep Dallas, and you could go back and beat Dallas the second time after not winning this time and still have a shot. But the likelihood of you going to Dallas is less likely than actually getting it done the first time around and then playing with some house money the second time around. So there's that. In this game, we have a chance to make it 5 straight. Continue to build momentum. In this game, we have a chance to beat the Dallas Cowboys for the 3rd straight time. Know when the last time we've done that? Got to go all the way back to 1988 to find a stretch where Washington defeated the Dallas Cowboys 3 times in a row. That's pathetic. But you know what? We've been a pathetic organization pretty much since Gibbs 1.0 went away. So it doesn't really surprise me that it's been that long, but it's been too damn long. So let's change that. Why don't we? Got a great opportunity. No time like the present to make it happen. We also have a chance to climb over 500 for the first time since week 1 of the 2020 season. That's right. We haven't been over 500 since we defeated the Philadelphia Eagles in Ron Rivera's very first game as Washington football team head coach. That is also pathetic. Not as bad as the Giants and Bad Dog telling us they haven't been over 500 since 2018. Not that pathetic, but it's not that much better either. Let's change that as well while we're at it. So many things exist in the spectrum of this game. Yep, you want to beat Dallas. Yep, you want to win the division. Yep, you want to make the postseason. All of these things are heightened, are greater chances of happening if you win this game. But you know what I'd also like to do? I'd also like to make it 3 straight against Dallas for the first time since 1988. I'd also like to be over 500 for the first time since week 1 of 2020. I'd also like to make it 5 straight on the season. You know what? I'd also like to stick it to Mike McCarthy as well, and the Dallas Cowboys and their fans. So yeah, there's a lot riding on this game. The players know it. The fans know it. This game feels like a rivalry game for the first time in a long time. You know what a rivalry means? It means that both teams are capable of winning. It's not one-sided. It's not what you expect it to be. You don't know. Just like what the Steelers did to the Ravens. Most people thought Ravens are going to win the game. The Steelers stink. It's a rivalry game. So you know what the Steelers did? They pulled up their bootstraps and they found a way to beat a team that's frankly better than them. That's what a rivalry is. Hasn't been a rivalry between Dallas and Washington for a very long time because they've dominated us. You know what all Cowboys fans like to hearken back to and what they like to recite as if they're singing a Christmas carol? Every time we talk about Dallas, you know, Dak Prescott 7-1, and he could have been 8-0 if not for a snap infraction. I'm sick and tired of hearing that shit. You know what I'm sick and tired of? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of people living in the past. That's what we as Washington fans like to do. My guy, Fat American, likes to talk about 2005 all the time. You know why? Because we don't have any new memories that can push 2005 back into where it belongs in 2005. We're talking about 2012 and that magical ride. We're talking about 2015, and you like that. Why? Because we haven't created new memories. I don't want to talk about the Super Bowl in 1991. I don't want to talk about the Super Bowl in 87 or the Super Bowl in 82. I don't want to talk about those Super Bowls. They exist. I'm proud of those accomplishments. I want to create new memories. Cowboys fans talking about you haven't won a Super Bowl since 95. Nobody cares. But they bring up Dak Prescott being 7-1. You know what? Dak Prescott hasn't beaten Washington since 2019. I want to talk about now. Let's get Dak Prescott another one in the right-hand column. Let's send these Cowboys packing with an L. Jerry Jones talking about Washington having the most Dallas fans outside of their own market. Well, that's great. Send their ass home with an L too. They can come to the game and get some of this smoke. I love the way that this is setting up. It feels like a rivalry. It feels the way it should when Dallas meets Washington. But in order for it to stay that way, we got to win. They beat us all the time. So it's not new to them. But beating Dallas, that's new to us. Let's make that something that doesn't feel unfamiliar. Let's make that something that happens on a regular basis, so when it does happen, we're not surprised. This is the first time we've played against Dallas that I can remember in the last 3, 4, 5 years where I actually go into the game thinking we should beat them. Last year, yeah, we were better than them. But you know what? We all sucked in the division. And when we played Dallas the first time, we were 1-5. So, you know what? I didn't know if we were going to beat Dallas or not. They stunk, we stunk. We got it done. The second time we played them, I definitely thought we were going to lose. And they stunk. But you know what? They were coming off of a big win versus Minnesota, in which Andy Dalton led them on a game-winning drive. And I said, we barely got by the Cincinnati Bengals. This doesn't feel right to me. We're going to lose this game. And we went and we smoked those boys. But you know what? They gave us some assistance. They faked a field goal. They went for it on a 4th down. They failed on both of those. That set us up in prime positions. And we took advantage. At the end of the day, I didn't expect to win any of those games. But we did. And that felt great. I expect to win this game. Now, we got to go out and actually win the game. This feels good. This is what Dallas versus Washington should feel like. A heavyweight fight. Championship fight. The Eagles aren't involved in this. They're playing around. The Eagles are for kids. Go in the backyard and go play somewhere. This is for the big boys right here. Dallas versus Washington, the way it should be. Now we got to make it count. And boys and girls out there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I'm here to tell you, I like our chances. We'll see what happens. One thing's for sure, this team is going to fight. And they're going to put their best foot forward and give themselves a chance. We'll see if it's enough. But I like this team. I like where we're at. I like the confidence. I like the swagger. I like the demeanor. I like this rivalry. Now, let's get the win. Let's get to in other news. And we're going to talk about a couple of things here, but nothing more important than the injury situation for both teams. So let's start by taking a look at that and where both teams reside heading into this pivotal Week 14 matchup, Dallas versus Washington. So we start with the good guys, and this looks exactly the way we thought it would and hoped it would look. So let's start with the guys that are out. No surprises there. I told you I don't like injury report surprises because rarely are they good. So no surprises in the out department. Wes Schweitzer, who I told you I don't think is going to be available until at bare minimum the Eagles game. I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see Wes Schweitzer until the second Dallas game, which is in 2 weeks from now. But next week is when I think Wes Schweitzer will be able to hit the practice field again. And again, even if Wes Schweitzer were healthy, he probably would not be starting. Why? Because Tyler Larsen, full participant today at center, and I'm glad he did not have to play and that Keith Ishmael was able to come in and hold it down. Well, guess what? Now we're going to get Tyler Larsen back. He's going to start at center, and I feel damn good about that heading into the game. So no Wes Schweitzer. That's not a problem. We'll be fine. I think next week is when we'll maybe be able to get Wes Schweitzer back on the practice field. But the other guy out is another not insignificant guy, but someone that we can survive without in Jordan K. All right. So he's out. Core special teamer, a guy that gives you depth at linebacker, not going to be available for this game. I don't like it, but we can survive without him. So everyone else is either going to play or they're questionable and more likely than not going to play. So let's go through the guys that are questionable, and then we'll wrap up with the guys that are definitely going to play. So Landon Collins had a foot injury that he sustained at the very end of the Seahawks game, did not play against the Raiders last week. Talked about putting an orthotic in his shoe and having to try to really put himself in a position to play. Limited on Thursday, limited on Friday after not practicing Wednesday. He's going to play in this game. How effective he will be, we'll see. He said he's 90%. If he's 90%, then we're fine. I don't know if I believe his 90% or not. We'll see. But it's just good to know that he'll be out there. Feel really confident about our underneath coverage and defense with Landon Collins on the field. He's been a man possessed since really transitioning down in the box as that Buffalo nickel, and I want to see him back on the field. After last week's performance where I thought we left a lot of meat on the bone defensively with missed tackles, Landon Collins is a guy that hasn't missed a thing underneath. Love to see him back in the lineup. Looks like we're going to get him back. Perfect timing. Same could be said for Jamin Davis. Remember, little nervous about his situation. Wednesday didn't practice with concussion symptoms. Was back on the practice field, and I told you that was a great sign that he was back on the field on Thursday. Well, Friday, full participant, he's going to play. So unless, and I with a concussion, I can't be as certain as I could with an ankle or a hammy or something like that. He could have something flare up Sunday morning and not play, obviously. Anything is possible when you're talking about a concussion. That said, the fact that he was able to have a limited day Thursday and follow that up with a full day of work on Friday really bodes well for him playing. And I'm going to tell you something. I think he's going to be one of the key players in this game on Sunday. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but he's going to play. I feel confident in saying that. Even though it's a little dicey when you're talking concussion, feel good about Jamin Davis. And boy, do we need him, especially with Khaleke Hudson being out. We definitely need Jamin Davis. Looks like we're going to have him. Curtis Samuel, never, ever trust a man with two first names. Really nothing to see here. This has been the standard operating procedure for him since coming back from the groin this third time around or so. So nothing to see here. They're just taking it slow with him as they've been doing. But I want to see them ramp up his, touches when he does see the field this game. I want to see him be impactful and see him touch the football, more than 2 or 3 times. I want to see him touch it 7 or 8 times in this game. Perfect time for that to take place, but he's going to play. No worries there. And then J.D. McKissic, that was a huge one because of what he brings to the table, how he changes the game out of the backfield as a pass catcher. Obviously did not have him last week against the Raiders with the concussion. Didn't practice Wednesday, was a little nervous, but I told you Wednesday is the day that if they have any questions about a guy or if they just want to give him extra rest, Wednesday is that day. He's been limited the last 2 days, which is a good sign that he's trending towards playing as well. So I don't think any of our questionables are going to miss the game, which is a really positive sign because every single one of those guys are impactful players for us and are huge in us having a chance to win this game. Then you get to all the guys that are listed but not actually even in the game status. Jonathan Allen with the groin, Tyler Larson with the knee, Brandon Sheriff with his knee, and Ricky Seals-Jones. Every single one of those guys are going to play. Every single one of those guys, with the exception of Jonathan Allen, who is going to play. No doubts there. We're full participants on Friday. So we got nothing to worry about. I'm not going to say we're as healthy as we've been because we're not. We still got Montez Sweat is out due to COVID. Chase Young is out. Obviously, Khalil Hudson is out. Logan Thomas is out. Like, we still have guys out. Sam Cosmi is out. So we're still banged up. But for what this injury report looks like and what we're going to be able to put on the field, we've got to feel good about what we're getting some guys back. We're getting Ricky Seals-Jones back in the perfect time. We're getting J.D. McKissick back. We're getting Landon Collins back. These are all guys that Tyler Larson, we're getting him back on the field. These are all impactful guys that are going to see the field for the first time in at least a week minimum. For some, like Larson, 3 weeks. For a guy like Ricky Seals-Jones, we haven't seen him since the Tampa game. So that's 3 weeks ago. So a month ago, really. So again, we're getting guys back. This is a good situation for Washington as we transition to Dallas in their injury report. I talked about Noah Brown, the wide receiver, core special teamer, also a guy that is one that they like to put on the field to block. He's an excellent blocker, can catch the football, but not a guy that's going to really hurt you in the pass game. He's out. Talked about him being placed on IR already with the groin injury, so we knew he was going to be out. Talked about that yesterday. Tony Pollard is huge. He's questionable. Hasn't practiced all week, and right now the report is he's got a torn fascia, okay? He's got plantar fasciitis and a torn plantar. If that is true, and he said it himself, he said he tore his fascia on the run against New Orleans for the touchdown. There's no way this guy's playing. They're saying it's a true game time decision. I find it hard to believe. Maybe he can shoot it up and numb it, and he won't hurt it any further, and he can go out and play. Maybe that happens. My money's on him not playing in this game. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure about him like I was Von Miller and last week with the tight end for the Raiders. I'm not 100% certain like I was for those two players in particular, but I feel confident enough to say I don't think Tony Pollard's playing. That's a huge win for us. I'll take it. Cedric Wilson, full participant. Ezekiel Elliott, full participant. Sean McKeon, tight end, full participant. And Michael Parsons with the hip, limited. All those guys are going to play. Those guys aren't even worth discussing. And so I think the biggest thing here is Tony Pollard. That's a development that I didn't see coming until we heard about it on Wednesday. And so if he is out, which we don't know for sure right now, but I feel confident he's going to be out, that's a huge blow to the Dallas Cowboys because I'm not afraid of Ezekiel Elliott, and we don't have Ezekiel Elliott problems. And Pollard does so many things for that offense. Out of the backfield as a pass catcher, explosiveness on the edge, kick return man. He impacts the game in so many ways that Ezekiel Elliott does not. That if they don't have Tony Pollard, I think that's a huge win for Washington. So we'll see what happens with that situation as it continues to develop and unfold. Quickly, we heard from Ron Rivera, and he had a rebuttal to the whole Mike McCarthy, guaranteeing a win, essentially saying that he's confident in his team winning this Sunday and feeling good about it. Okay, fine. Ron's like, look, I'm not getting into that with him. There's no benefit. As I said yesterday, there's no benefit to a head coach in the NFL or any sport for that matter guaranteeing victory. There's nothing to be gained by doing that. It's a stupid move. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't care what the context is. I don't even bother to go listen to what it sounded like and what the context of it was, it doesn't need to be said, period. You can say it behind closed doors until your face turns blue, but when you step in front of that mic in front of the media, you can't give the other team any bulletin board material. And we can sit here and say, well, that doesn't matter, this, that. You're damn right it matters, okay? Obviously, when they kick the football off, all that shit goes out the window, but trust me, it's motivation during the week. It's motivation during the game and all of those things. And again, it doesn't make sense to say something like that when you have to play this team twice in 3 weeks. It just doesn't make any sense. It's dumb. And Ron wasn't going to get into that because, again, we're not going to give you back bulletin board material. We're not going to feed into that. But we saw Ron's initial response when asked about it with Julie Donaldson. He was pissed, And, he took the interesting versus important road, which I love, okay? Because that's Ron's way of dismissing something. But trust and believe he's not dismissing it behind closed doors. Oh, he's playing it up with the players, So that rock, and I don't know if you guys peep game, but on Friday during the press conferences, he had the rock right in front of him, all right? We ain't hiding the rock no more, okay? Now that you want to come out and guarantee victory, here's the rock for your ass, Goliath. We got the rock right here. And we looking to bust you right in the mouth with it and knock you out. And so I love it. Want more of it. And I think these guys are going to be prepared. They talk to various players and coaches about, the crowd and the influence and wanting them to be here. And I think this is one of those games where I know Cowboys fans are going to be there. They always show up. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent. They're always at the stadium. I want to see Washington fans, and I can tell you this. In all of my time doing what I'm doing, and doing, the LouieTeeNetwork and covering this team and the NFL and all of it, I have never heard this many fans tell me personally, I'm going to this game. I have never heard this many fans. I've had at least 4 people tell me this is my first time going to a Washington game, but I'm going to be there. And you know the mantra, you know the motto, you know what it is. And I'm going to give away 2 tickets as well and do my part to make sure 2 more butts are in seats rooting for the good guys. But you know the goal. It's one goal, one objective. You go in, you get out, and you come back with the dub. You know what it is. Bring it home. And I hope that energy is being reciprocated amongst the rest of the fan base. Because I told you a lot of times we live in this bubble when it comes to this team. Because we're so passionate and we love the team so much that sometimes we have on blinders. And, there's enough trolls and people that don't believe, whether it's Ron's plan or in Daniel Snyder or this, that, and the third, they don't believe and always want to spread negativity. There's enough of them to keep us grounded, right? Keep us rooted in reality. However, sometimes we will put our Washington rose-colored glasses on and we feel like, oh man, everybody says they're going to the game. It's going to be packed with Washington fans. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I'm hoping that this energy that we feel, and I told you, I haven't felt this kind of energy from this particular game, Dallas versus Washington. Haven't felt this kind of energy permeated amongst the fan base in quite some time. I'm hoping that this thing extends outside of our bubble to fans everywhere that force them to go to this game and really make it tough on Dallas. There have been some games this season where the energy level has been through the roof. The Giants game on Thursday night, the energy level, you could feel it through the television screen. The Monday night game against Seattle, you could feel the energy through the television screen. I think this is another one of those games where we need that kind of energy. Whether it's a sold-out stadium or not, which I think it has a chance to be, or close to it, because Dallas fans are going to come. They're going to be there. But I just know we need to do our part as fans. And I say we loosely because I'm not there and I'm not making an effort to get there. But like I said, I'm doing my part to make sure that there are going to be 2 more Washington fans, courtesy of Trevor Patch. And I don't want to forget that. I don't want you to forget that these seats are courtesy of Trevor Patch. And good luck to all of you and congratulations in advance to whomever wins these tickets because they're going to be awesome tickets. And again, you know what you need to do if you're the recipient of these 2 tickets. But anyway, let's get to our keys to victory and how we can make it 3 straight against these dirty, dastardly Dallas Cowboys. These dirty, dick dastardly Dallas Cowboys. Jer's boys. America's team. So, gonna start with the offensive keys to victory versus Dallas's defense. And the first key to the game for me is punish them in the trenches. I feel like in order to win this football game, our offensive line has to neutralize Dallas's pass rush. You know, one of the things that everyone wants to talk about, especially Dallas fans, is, oh, we're getting Randy Gregory back. We just got Tank Lawrence back last week, and we got Michael Parsons, and Neville Gallimore is coming back, and we got all of these guys. What are you going to do with all of these guys that we have up front that can wreak havoc on the quarterback? Great question. We're going to find out on Sunday. I like my guys up front. That's all I'm going to say. Are there some matchups that worry me? Sure. But I know this much. We're well aware of what Dallas has and the challenges that they present and pose to our front. And so we need to adjust and act accordingly. And I think we will. So I think we need to neutralize their pass rush, but I also think we need to be able to punch them in the gut with the run game when necessary. I think we also need to make sure that there is a balance, that we are able to establish a healthy, hearty run game that allows us to take advantage of some opportunities down the field. I've already told you, if we can protect in this ball game, there will be opportunities against this Cowboys secondary. Their secondary isn't very good. It's not great. It's a solid secondary, but it's one that can be exposed, especially Anthony Brown. So if you ask me, if we can neutralize their front, if we can punish them in the trenches, on the ground, and hold up in pass protection, we should be able to move the football on this Dallas defense. It's a solid Dallas defense. It's not as bad as it was last year, but it's not great. And don't let anybody fool you and tell you that this defense is great, because it's not. They can have the football moved on them, but we've got to establish ourselves in the trenches on the ground and in the pass game as well. The next key to the game for this offense, we need Heineke Ultra, 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 not Heineke Light. And you know what? Heineke Genuine Draft won't do in this game. We need Ultra. We need the best of the best of the best, and not just from Taylor Heineke, but his supporting cast as well, which takes me exactly to my next key to victory for this offense against Dallas's defense, and that is Terry, AG, JD, and Curtis all need to step up, okay? And it doesn't have to be all 4 of them, so I shouldn't say all, but those are our best offensive weapons. And we have other guys that supplement them well, like DeAndre Carter, like Adam Humphries. We've got other guys that can make plays, like Ricky Seals-Jones. We've got other guys that can help them out and take some of that burden off of their shoulders. But in the biggest games, you need your best players to step up and make plays. As a wise man once told me, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. Well, this is as big of a game as it gets for this football team leading up to or in this particular season to this point, okay? This is the biggest game. And then next week's game will be the biggest game. But from here on out, every game is the biggest game. And this one right here, I think, is the biggest game of the season. And so I need Terry McLaurin to break out of this mini funk. And it's not really a funk as much as it is he just hasn't had a ton of opportunities. But he only had 4 catches against Seattle. I don't think he had more than 4 catches against Vegas. Maybe he had 5, okay? But it wasn't for a ton of yards. I need Terry to break out in this game. I need 7 to 8, 9 catches for 92 to 117 yards for Terry and to score. I need Antonio Gibson. I need AG. I need Gibby. Whatever you want to call him, I need him to do what he did to Dallas last year in Dallas when he had his best game as a pro. I need him to relive some of that. I need him to recreate those moments again here in this game. Last year against Dallas, he had some of his best performances, scored a touchdown in each of those games, scored multiple touchdowns the second time when he destroyed them and we destroyed them as a team. I need him to show up and be that kind of player for us in this game. J.D. McKissic, we know what he's capable of. We know what he provides us with. And if he's healthy and able to play, we need J.D. McKissic to do J.D. McKissic things. And finally, I think this is the game Curtis Samuel has to step up. I think this is the game where we can't babysit Curtis Samuel and only give him the football 3 times. If he's on the field, he needs to be a threat to touch it. If he gets 27 snaps in this game, if he gets 35 snaps in this game, I need him to have 7 to 10 touches. This can't be Curtis Samuel gets 1 jet sweep, 1 wide receiver screen, and we don't see him anymore touching the football. This needs to be a game where Curtis Samuel is actually a threat to hurt this Dallas Cowboys defense. This needs to be the game. The next key to the game offensively. First and second down efficiency leading to third down dominance. I'm going to say that again because this is going to be pivotal. First and second down efficiency leading to third down dominance. Now, it doesn't need to be limited to just that. You can dominate on first and second down and be efficient and not have to face third down. I'd love that even more. Get a first down on first down. Get a first down on second down. Those work. Okay, you don't have to get to 3rd and 3 to convert every single time. You don't have to get to 3rd and 1 every time to move the sticks. If you can get into a 2nd and 4 and then you're able to go play action fake and you get Terry over the middle on a deep dig and you get 21, I'm all for it. I want more of it. If you get a first down situation and you hand it off to Gibby and he pops it for 12, well, let's move those sticks again. Fresh set of downs. Let's do it again. We don't have to get 6 on first down and 3 on second down and get to 3rd and 1, although I'll take that as well. But whatever we do, we need to be efficient on those early downs. What we don't want, we talked about this Dallas Cowboys defensive line and the problems they can pose. What we don't want to do is find ourselves in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10 because we didn't get it done on first and second down. We need to be efficient on those early downs, which will then take pressure off of this offense to have to convert that long down and distances, to have to protect Heineke for 3 seconds so that guys can get 10, 12 yards down the field to convert a 3rd and long. Let's stay in 3rd and manageable. Let's stay in 3rd and 4 so guys like Adam Humphries can come up big. Guys like DeAndre Carter can come up big underneath. Let's stay in 3rd and manageable so J.D. McKissic can catch something out in the flats and outrace a linebacker for the first down. Let's stay in manageable 3rd downs by being efficient on first and second down. That's going to be huge because if we go 7 of 13 on 3rd downs in this game, we're going to win. If we go 8 of 13, we're going to win this football game. We go 8 of 14. We go 9 of 15. We go 9 of 16. We're going to win this football game. But that starts on first and second down, especially against a team like Dallas who wants to get after your quarterback. And then lastly, I think this is really important. This is really vital because I didn't think we did this as cleanly last week as we had done in previous weeks. Control what you can control. I thought we were sloppy last week. We come with that kind of effort in this game, we're going to lose. We had penalties, we had sacks, we had mistakes, turnover, another near turnover. Like, we were sloppy last week. We were sloppy with the handles. But luckily enough, we were playing a team in Vegas that couldn't take full advantage of our sloppy handles. They didn't have the kind of defense they needed to be able to reach their hand in the cookie jar and take the cookies and go the other way and get an easy deuce. We got lucky. We got to get back to the way we played against Tampa and against Carolina. Mistake-free ball. Ball that lends itself to winning against quality opponents. We got away with one last week. We made a ton of mistakes. 15-yard run, and it's called back due to a holding penalty. 2nd and 4, and you take an 11-yard sack. You got a drive going, and Taylor Heineke's arm gets hit, and it gets picked off. We made a bunch of mistakes in that game versus Vegas, and we were lucky to survive and come out with a victory. I need the players on this team to control what they can control. You can control where you line up so that you don't get an illegal formation or illegal procedure. You can control whether you false start or if you hold your water until that ball is snapped. You can control whether you get your hands inside the pads or if you're outside the numbers and you're picking up a holding penalty. You can control whether you got the ball high and tight upon contact or if you got it out there loosey-goosey and it gets punched out for a fumble. You can control whether your guy beats you around the edge or if you're Taylor Heineke, you step up and avoid pressure and step up with pocket mobility or take off and use your wheels to extend the play. You can control those variables. Control what you can control. You can control snap, hold, kick. Control the variables that you can control. Don't turn it over. Don't have stupid, silly penalties. Don't hurt yourself. Make your kicks. Do all of the little things that has gotten us this 4-game win streak. That's what's going to make it 5. Control what you can control. Don't self-destruct and kill your own drives. We did that last week. We can't do that this week and expect to win. Can't get to 3rd and 1, have a missed assignment, have a missed block, and give it up and have to punt like we did against Seattle 3 times on 3 straight possessions. Control what you can control. We get to the Washington defense versus the Cowboys offense. First key to victory, make Dallas one-dimensional. Okay? I love this because I think this is very doable. Again, especially if Tony Pollard is not playing. Zeke Elliott does not scare me, has not scared me in years. Okay? Years. I think the last time I was fearful of Zeke Elliott might have been 2017. We don't have Zeke Elliott problems in these neck of the woods. Okay? His stat line at the end of this game should look something like 13 carries for 32 yards. That's the kind of shit we do to Zeke Elliott. Make them one-dimensional and tell Dak, bro, you got to do it yourself. And if he does it, touche. Tip my cap to him. You got us. And they got the weapons to do it. But make them do it. Don't have them be balanced. Don't allow them to rely on the run game and open up play action fake. We got to get nosy, bring an extra defender down in the box, and now they're able to take advantage of us deep. Nah, we should be able to handle them with 7-man fronts with an extra defender and Landon Collins down around the box if need be. We should be able to handle them and feel confident doing it. Next key to the game defensively. Dominate on the interior. Look, if you ask me, if Dallas is fully healthy, if they got their 5 offensive line starters, which I assume they're going to have for this game, no reason to not assume that, they're weakest on their interior. To me, their left guard and their center are the 2 guys you attack. And their center isn't bad, right? He's solid. Okay, he's not Travis Frederick, right? But we know that they've got issues at left guard from time to time with Connor Williams. He can be taken advantage of. And Zach Martin's a beast. They've got some guys. I like our matchups inside. I think if we're going to dominate, we're going to make Dak Prescott uncomfortable. Look, if Dakota has all day to throw, we're in trouble. We've got to get to Dakota Rain and make him uncomfortable. And if we're going to make Dakota Rain feel the pain, it needs to come from the interior. We know James Smith-Williams and Casey Toohill. Shaka Toney may be able to get to the quarterback. I told you about Shaka Toney. I told you about him. And Ron keeps talking about Shaka Toney. There's some juice there. But we know James Smith-Williams, worker bee. We know Casey Toohill, worker bee. They're not getting pressure by themselves. They'll need help, twist, stunt, something. They'll need help. But on the inside, Ioannidis, Allen, Payne, they don't have to have help. Settle, they don't have to have help. They can win one-on-one. They can collapse the pocket. They can win with quickness, speed. So I think we have to dominate on the interior if we are to get to Dakota, if we are to make him uncomfortable. It's going to be inside. I truly feel that way. This is a Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne, Matt Ioannidis, Tim Settle type of game. We get contributions from those guys, I like our chances. Not only in the pass game, but also in the run game as well. Next key to the game defensively, limit explosives and make them earn it. This is huge because to me, when we lose to Dallas, there's usually an explosive play somewhere in there. And it seems like every time we play them, we give it up. When we beat them in 2018, the one time we beat Dak Prescott, Michael Gallup got loose for a deep ball down the left sideline for a touchdown. When we played him on Thanksgiving last year, Amari Cooper went apeshit. It was the one game that I felt Ronald Darby really struggled. Amari Cooper ate his lunch. Had a deep ball down the sideline for a touchdown. Had another deep ball. It was a rough go of it for Ronald Darby. But he made his fair share of plays. Had a fourth down stop and things of that nature. But the big plays, they've been a problem in this series against Dallas. One year, they had a bum. I want to say this was the first game of the season, so I think it was 2019, I believe. No, that 2019 we played the Eagles week 1. It had to be 2017. They had a bum. I want to say it was it was an Ohio State bum. Dude could run. Smith, I think his last name was, something like that. Deep ball, touchdown. Changed the whole game. Like, that shit can't happen this week. Like, we can't give up anything cheap, anything deep. If Dallas wants to go on a 13-play, 79-yard drive that amassed 6 minutes and 48 seconds of the clock and they get in the end zone, so be it. I'll tip my cap to them. But what I don't want to see is the 3-play, 73-yard drive capped off by a 69-yard touchdown strike. What I don't want to see is them to have a 6-play drive and the first 5 plays of that drive only amass 14 yards, but the 6th play goes for 59 and a touchdown, and they have a 6-play, 73-yard touchdown drive. Like, that's the shit I don't want to see. So we've got to eliminate the big plays. Make them earn it. They're not good enough offensively right now as constituted. With the way they've been playing, they're struggling offensively to string together consistency. There's a drop. There's a penalty. There's a mistake. There's lost yardage on first down that puts them behind the sticks. They're not doing the things they were doing earlier in the season, which got them the title of number 2 offense or number 1 offense in the league, wherever the hell they sit right now. A lot of the numbers they compiled were earlier in the season. The last dominant offensive game they had was when they beat up on the Atlanta Falcons. How long ago was that? Had to be almost a month ago. Since then, they've lost to Kansas City, they've lost to the Raiders, and the offense didn't look all that sharp against the Saints either. So, as far as I'm concerned, this offense isn't what it was earlier in the season. Don't let it be in this game. Make them earn it. Because right now, I don't see a Dallas offense that's stringing together consistency. And maybe Amari Cooper's health helps with that. But as far as I'm concerned, we need to make them earn it. They do that. You tip your cap and you say, you got me. They get cheapies. They get deepies. We're in trouble. Win on third downs is the next key to victory for this defense versus Dallas's offense. I mean, that goes without saying, but it needs to be said because third downs have been huge. It's part of the reason this defense has turned its season around. The thing that we harped on the most in our early season struggles, going all the way back to week 1 when the Chargers were 14 of 18 on third downs, essentially. Technically speaking, 14 of 19. They took a knee on the final third down of the game to finish off the clock. So that doesn't count. So technically speaking, 14 of 18. Like, that's the kind of shit we were doing in the early weeks. The Falcons in week 4, 10 of 16. Like, this is the shit we were doing starting out this season. Getting raped on third downs. But on this 4-game heater that we're on, it's been lights out. Lights out, baby, on third down. The Raiders, 2 of 8 last week. Okay? We've been taking teams out back. Seahawks the week before that, 3 of 10. We taking them out back on third downs. Pop, pop. 2 in the dome. Get off the field. Drive's over. It's dead. We need to do that in this game. The best way to put yourself in positions to do that is to create third and longs. Don't want the Cowboys consistently facing 3rd and 3s, 4s and 2s and 1s. Make it 3rd and 7. Make it 3rd and 8. Make it 3rd and 10. Make them earn it. Again, win on 3rd downs. If we can get off the field on 3rd downs, man, I love our chances in this ball game. And then finally, last key to the game, defensively, force at least one turnover. I think this isn't one of those games where we don't turn it over, the opposition doesn't turn it over, and we just play clean ball and win. This doesn't feel like that type of game. This feels like that Tampa game that we had earlier in the season where we generated a couple of turnovers in the first quarter. Like, we need one of those types of performances where we're forcing the issue. And the one thing I can say, we haven't won all of those games, but when we've played opponents where we felt like we needed to do that against an offense that was capable, we've done that. Whether it's New Orleans, whether it was Kansas City, whether it was Tampa Bay, we've had games where we forced multiple turnovers early in ball games to give us a boost. I'm not saying that's what we are going to do or that's what we need to do in this game, but it would be nice to do that, to set the tone early with a couple of Dak Prescott turnovers, whether it's a fumble or an interception, what it may have you, or I don't care who coughs it up. But we need to force at least one turnover in this game. I don't think this is one of those games you can get by just, playing clean ball and just not turning it over yourself and expecting that to just be enough, unless you're getting off the field on 3rd downs, of course. But for me, this is a game where I think we've got to generate at least one turnover. We didn't generate any turnovers against Vegas last week. I don't recall us generating any against the Seahawks the week prior to that. There were opportunities. I know Cam Curl had Russell Wilson literally throw him the ball and him not catch it. But I don't think – I'm going to check on that real quick. I'm not sure if we created a turnover in that Seattle game. I don't think we did, though. I think the last time we created a turnover, I think you may have to go back to that Tampa Bay game because I don't think we generated a turnover against Cam Newton. Now, we got off the field on 4th down twice. That constitutes a turnover. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think we generated any turnovers the last 2. It might even be the last 3 weeks during this win streak. So I think it's imperative this week that we get – I know we didn't create a turnover last week against Vegas, so I don't even need to look at that one. But I don't know if we created a turnover against the Seahawks or not. I don't feel like we did generally. It says we created a turnover. Oh, yes, Landon Collins forced the fumble. So we did do that against Seattle. Let's see if we had a turnover forced against Carolina. I don't think we did, but again, I could be wrong. I like I said, 4th down stops, they're like turnovers, but it's not a turnover technically. And yeah, no, we didn't force a turnover in that game. So we have to – I think this is a game where we need to force a turnover. We haven't forced turnovers all that often of late. Again, the Tampa game was an anomaly. We really haven't been a high turnover force team this season. This is a game I feel like we need to force at least one. So, and I'm going to tell you who I think is going to generate that turnover here in a second. But let's get to my prediction score and more. And I already told you I think we're going to win this game. And I've minced no words. All right, it's not a secret how I feel. I think we are the better team right now, better coached. I think we are the more confident team. The Cowboys may have more talent, but that doesn't mean they're the better team. I think overall, when you put that entire package together, we're better than them. And I think we're going to prove it on Sunday. And final score is 24-22. Here's how we get to that final score. And yes, a 2-point conversion for the 3rd straight week is essentially going to save us. So here's how we're going to arrive at this score. I envision this game being nip and tuck, and we are going to be 17-16, early stages of the 4th quarter. Cowboys are on the move. And Dak Prescott is going to look over the middle of the football field. He's going to see his tight end, Dalton Schultz, who he believes is open, not see first-round pick rookie Jamin Davis, who's going to leap in front of the offering, pick it off, take it deep into Dallas territory. We're going to cash that in for a touchdown, take a 24-16 lead. Dallas is then going to march it down the field. They're going to score a touchdown with 58 seconds left. Have to go for 2. Do not get it. They don't recover the onside kick. We win the game 24-22. That is how I see the game unfolding. How do you see this happening? Everyone's talking about the first round pick on the other side for the Dallas Cowboys and Micah Parsons and what he's going to do and this, that, and the third. And he's been electric this season. Good for him. But we got a first round pick that's starting to play some of his best football of the season now as well. And I think when this game's over, they'll be talking about a first round pick, but it won't be Micah Parsons in the play he made. It'll be Jamin Davis in the play that he made. Score and more down in the comment section. Want to hear from you. Looking forward to hearing what you think is going to transpire in this game. Nonetheless, for all of you who are going to be in attendance, and I've heard from a plethora of you guys and gals out there, you know what to do, okay? It's not rocket science. It's not hard. You know what this is. Make it happen. One goal, one objective, get in and get out and bring back the dub. I am a Washington fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Washington spirit will never die. Washington spirit will never fold until we meet again. Hail to our beloved Washington football team. Fellas, you know what this is. This is war, okay? All right? They waged war when they came into our facility and decided that they were going to guarantee victory. It's war, okay? They don't respect us just like everybody else. You know what this is, so you know what to do as well. Bring home the dub.
Here comes the diesel. Here comes the diesel. There's the snap, hand to Riggins. Good hold. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone. The 35, the 30, the 20.